Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Fabulous. Coming up, we've got a special guest that's going to be joining us on the program today. Today, we are going to be visiting with Pete Dorley, and he's with Keystone Meats. National Canned Food Month was actually last month, but...
Last month.
Yeah, but it's got a good shelf life, so I figured I'd, see.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I'm going to be chatting with him. I actually was supposed to talk to him last month.
You were thinking of that joke all morning, weren't you?
Well, I got to explain to him why I wasn't able to get him on last month, so I figured, hey, I got to come up with something. Hey, according to New Woman magazine, a man's worst work day is Monday because they got to go back to work and all the pressures. What day of the week is the worst for women, Heidi?
Tuesday.
No, Friday.
What?
Because they're tired from the work week and they got to go home and face chores and children and husbands. So,
Oh, I love Fridays.
there you go. See, because I do chores. And we don't have small children, so that's why. And one last thing here. A nationwide study found that drivers in the Northeast know the least. 20% not knowing pedestrians in a crosswalk have the right of way. 33% not stopping for them. So
How could you not know the pedestrian has the right of way?
in the Northeast,
He's going to run them over?
They just honk and tell you to get out of the way.
Wow.
Apparently. There you go. So steer clear of that.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, March the 8th. Today is Bikini Bottom Free Day. This is from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh.
So, yeah. Also, today is Day for Women's Rights and International Peace. It is Discover What Your Name Really Means Day. So I wonder what Heidi means, and I wonder what John means. We'll have to look that up later.
I don't know. Mine's German.
German for what?
I don't know.
Woman who ignores her husband while working?
Probably.
Probably not.
That would be accurate.
Yeah, right now she's not paying attention to me. And I'm going to make a big stink of it. Today is also Girls Right Now Day, WRITE. It's International Women's Day, International Working Women's Day, National Proofreading Day, National Peanut Cluster Day. Do you like peanut clusters? I kind of like those. They're good.
It's weird because I like chocolate-covered peanuts, but I don't necessarily like peanut clusters.
Oh, well, there you go. And it's Registered Dietitian Day. So what happens if you're a dietitian that's not registered?
I don't think you can be a dietitian that is not registered.
Well, now we'll have to wonder if they get to celebrate. Thanks for listening on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
Hey, it's John and Heidi. Join us for 80s in the Sand, a week-long 80s event this November 11th through the 18th in beautiful Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
Meet and listen to 80s bands like Loverboy, Starship, Howard Jones, and many more.
Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
Book your week-long 80s vacation now at 80sinthesand.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Sometimes a mugging has a happy ending, even if the criminal is successful in mugging. This is what happened. A retired man in England recently received a visit from a man who mugged him 2 years ago. So think about how weird this would be. But this is a cool story. After being released from prison, the man who mugged him made a beeline for Charles Wiseman's home in Essex. Not to seek revenge, but to make amends. The 84-year-old said he was amazed when his attacker arrived to say he was sorry for the crime, handed over a bag of stolen items, including his wallet and his driver's license. The 22-year-old mugger, who said he was trying to right his wrongs, had been sent to prison for 2 years for the attack on Wiseman 2 years ago. He said he was choked up by the gesture. How cool is that? So he got out of prison.
I'd be scared.
Well, of course you would. But, this guy mugged him 2 years ago. He got in trouble, went to prison. I'm not sure where this stuff was for 2 years, but he still had it somehow. So must not have got caught instantly, had it stashed away somewhere. And for 2 years, he sat in jail. And when he got out, he did the right thing and returned the stuff.
Yeah,
which,
I'd
again,
be
would
terrified
be
when that guy came
freaky.
walking up to my house.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? I just got out of prison. I was the guy that mugged you 2 years ago.
You put me in prison?
I came here because I want to give you all this stuff back. Thank you. 84-year-old man doesn't have a heart attack getting through that part. No, that's just crazy. And, I'm really proud of the guy. And hopefully these are the first steps in the right direction for him.
That
and
would
he
be
gets
great.
On the right path in life. You don't want to mug people. You don't want to steal things. If it's not yours, if you didn't work for it, you don't deserve it. So
Exactly.
don't steal things. Don't take things that are not yours. Just, don't do that. That's a bad idea. And even if you find something that's not yours, try to find the person it belongs to. I don't understand how you could not do that. Anyway, it's true, this whole mugging thing, because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. It starts out with a police chase. They're chasing after a white SUV. Who do you think of instantly when I say that?
OJ.
Yeah, well, it's not them. It's something different. I just had to ask because the second I read that, I was like, oh, hey, another white SUV chase. Well, watching a white SUV circle the block for 20 minutes, a Miami homeowner called the police. As the officer spoke to the homeowner, the sports utility vehicle passed again, with the officer trailing it. The SUV ran a stop sign, prompting the officer to turn on his lights and siren. The SUV kept going and ignored 2 more stop signs. When it finally came to a stop, the officer ordered the driver to the ground at gunpoint. After his arrest, the 39-year-old had said he had heard the sirens but wanted to finish his beer and his cocaine before he pulled over.
Gosh.
He was like, yeah, I heard you back there. I just, I didn't want to waste a fresh beer and all this cocaine.
Gosh.
So figured you were going to just throw it away. Yeah, kids, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs. We have your moment of duh on the way.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. This actually sounds like a fun story. This sounds to me like the guy really wasn't causing that much of a problem, but this is from last summer when it was quite warm in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Stephen Harper went into an air-conditioned Walmart store last summer to get some relief from the heat. Did a little shopping and then did a little plopping into a reclining chair in the yard and garden department to cool off. He promptly fell asleep, and when associates had a tough time waking him, they had to call the police. Cops did a quick check on his ID, and wouldn't you know it, he was wanted on an outstanding warrant for contempt of court. He was taken into the coolness of a jail cell. But the thing is, I can see that. If it's hot outside, he comes in, he bought some stuff. Just want to sit down and cool off. It's too bad that he fell asleep. But you know what? If he's wanted, I'm glad that he got caught.
Yeah.
But I could see me do that.
I could definitely see you do that. I think I have seen you do
You
that.
can see me fall asleep pretty quick.
Yeah.
I fell asleep one time in a booth at a fast food restaurant. So.
Embarrassing.
She's like, hey, we're leaving. Let's go. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. Coming up, we have your scoop of the day. That's on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. A Milwaukee kindergarten teacher has just been placed on leave after she used an Ouija board in her classroom.
I saw that online. I would be so furious.
Milwaukee public school officials removed the teacher from her classroom last week after a parent complained about an incident that happened, and this was an elementary school. The teacher used a board as a prop while telling a scary story. So it's not like she was using the Ouija board, like doing a seance or anything, but I still understand why people were upset. Indiana residents received emergency radio alerts last week warning of a zombie attack. Well, that didn't happen. The broadcasts, which were replayed frequently around noon last Wednesday on a local station, warned of flesh-eating attacks as well as related disease outbreak from dead bodies, while the warnings were determined to be the result of a hack. Really? You mean there's not a zombie apocalypse in Indiana? Here, that's what I thought was going on. Police in the Netherlands just arrested and handcuffed a 99-year-old grandmother who's never committed a crime. There were no protests or outraged social media posts because this 99-year-old Annie asked them to. She said this was on her bucket list. We read of another person, I think she was like in her 80s, that wanted this. This one's 99. And she said she's never, ever been arrested, but she thought it would be fun. So police happily obliged. They put her in cuffs, and they closed her into a jail cell, posting photos of the department on the department's Facebook page. Time magazine said it looks like she'll be having an absolute blast. Officers say this was a day to remember. So for people who've actually been like arrested, I wonder if they're going, really? That's on your bucket list? You want to get? I mean, I didn't want to get, and you wanted to get? What? All right. Turns out all of you who have fears about pee in the pool, it's true. About 1 in 5 Americans are actually admitting that they've peed in a pool. The world's famous pool user Michael Phelps says everybody does it. But the first time, scientists have finally figured out a way to quantify just how much urine is in our pools. Do we want to know this, Heidi?
Well, I think we know it's a lot. Because I think I agree with Michael Phelps. I think everybody does it.
Research team testing 31 pools and hot tubs in Canada found evidence of urine in every single one of them. There were 8 gallons of urine estimated to be in a 110,000-gallon pool. Even grosser, for hot tubs, one hotel hot tub found to have 3 times the level of urine of the worst swimming pool in a much smaller, confined space. Researchers say they're not trying to turn people off swimming. They just want to remind people, please don't pee in the pool.
And don't drink the water.
Yeah, definitely don't drink the water. And don't pee in the pool from the side of the pool. That's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea. That's the one way to get caught for sure. Police in Pennsylvania found a 42-year-old Dennis Drum Sr. lying dead on a bed with a gun in his hand and a gunshot wound to his forehead. Oh. It wasn't suicide. They say he was killed by his wife, Teresa Drum, after arguing about a casserole that she burned. Yeah, they said her husband shot himself after arguing about the burnt casserole and the fact that she drank his last beer, but then she showed paramedics a cell phone photo that she took of the husband's body, claiming she sent it to a friend because she didn't know what to do. The problem is there was no gun in his hand in that photo, taken 11 minutes before the 911 call was made, so they charged her with criminal homicide. So she pretty much gave herself away. She's like, here, I took this photo after I shot him in the head. And then I waited 11 more minutes before calling you. I called a friend first to ask him, how do I make it look like you did it? Bad
Jerk
idea.
was talking about my food again, so
Yeah. I just don't understand
made
why.
sure he doesn't have to eat it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of crazy. Anyway, one final thing that we're going to get to here. Do you remember Big, the movie Big?
Yeah.
In that, there was a video game, Zoltar. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Hank surprised the press corps for the 3rd time in 13 years with an espresso machine and added a note encouraging the journalists to continue their work. Accompanying the note says, keep up the good fight for the truth, justice, and the American way, especially for the truth part. And he gave him that machine instead of the Zoltar machine. So I'm trying to figure out why that machine, the Zoltar machine, would have been even listed in the headline.
I have no idea.
Said that he gave them a machine, but it wasn't the Zoltar machine. All right. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for listening as I stumble through the final story on our Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We got a guest joining us today. We just missed National Canned Food Month. That was in the month of February, and we set up this interview, but we actually are going to be talking to him here in March. But the good news is canned food is good way more than just 1 month. We've got Pete Dorley, president of Keystone Meats, joining us on the line. Hello, Pete. How are you doing today?
Hi, John. I'm great. How are you?
Very, very good. It's fun because this interview has a longer shelf life since, last month was Canned Food Month. But with canned foods, it does have a longer shelf life, doesn't it?
Perfect. Well said. That's great.
So now let's talk a little bit about National Canned Food Month. How long have they been doing this? Has this been something they've been doing a long time?
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know exactly how long it's been going, but I look forward to it every year. I love National Canned Food Month. It's February, and I love to talk about canned foods. It's something that everybody's familiar with, but it's great to just take a minute and pay attention to it and look at the benefits that canned food provides for everybody.
And the great thing about canned food is it does last a lot longer. So that's one of the benefits, but what are some of the benefits of having canned food in your pantry?
Well, there are great benefits, and I really break it down into 3 key things. That shelf life is one thing that we all are aware that you get a longer shelf life with canned foods. Another big benefit is just the convenience that canned foods provide. If you have your pantry properly stocked up with a variety of canned goods and you get home late from work one day and you want to make a meal for your family, you can just open up a few cans and throw something together that's healthy, nutritious, and very fast and convenient. So the convenience is a big thing. Another thing that also often gets overlooked with canned foods is that a lot of canned goods are filled with fresh, healthy ingredients. That's the thing that I like to highlight most because sometimes we don't think about canned foods that way, and we really should. I always encourage people to open up or look at the label, read the ingredients, look at the nutritional information. Many canned foods have very clean labels, and ours is one example of that. Of course, we make canned meats: beef, chicken, pork, turkey. And if you look at the ingredients of our canned beef, for example, the ingredients say beef, sea salt, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
There's nothing else in there. No fillers, not even water. It's just pure, lean beef packed in the can by hand and then slow cooked for you. It's just got a dash of sea salt. It's really not much. So it's low sodium, very lean, and it's like a pot roast all done for you. So there's some very canned fruits and vegetables are another great example of that. A lot of those canners, they harvest their crops at the perfect time, at peak freshness, and then they put it in the can and they cook it in there so it locks it in. So you've got peak freshness, just harvested, and then it's stable for you there on the shelf for whenever you want to use it. So I always encourage people with canned foods, read the ingredients, look at the nutritional information. There are a lot of great, healthy, nutritious, very wholesome foods that are packed in the can.
And the nice thing is, by having that canning process and being able to take it when it's ripe and when it's ready and then, kind of freeze it in that state for a long time, it extends the length of the season for them, because instead of saying, hey, right now it's corn season, for the next 3 weeks you can have corn, well, man, wouldn't we be sick of corn in that time? And then the rest of the year we'd be saying, man, I sure wish I could have some corn.
Yeah, exactly. And so when they pack that corn for you during corn season so that you can have it all year round. And the same is true with many fruits and vegetables. And the same is true with canned meats too. Now they're not all like that, but many of them are. So I really challenge people to read that label, look at what's in there, and maybe go look on the website of the company, or look a little deeper. I very freely share with people the way we make our canned meats, and it's it's kind of an old-fashioned method. I have skilled butchers that hand trim and hand cut these meats into chunks, just real lean 1-inch chunks, and then we hand pack it in there and seal it and cook it for you. So it's a very, very clean and healthy.
That's awesome.
And it gives you that convenience too. I mean, you could make a pot roast dinner. I mean, everybody loves to make a crock pot meal or a slow cooker pork roast or something like that. But that'll take you 4 hours.
Yeah.
You really got to think ahead on that. Well, you have a can of our stuff in your pantry. It's ready to go.
That's awesome. Again, visiting with Pete Dorley, president of Keystone Meats. Now, where are you guys located in the country?
We are in Lima, Ohio.
Oh, very nice.
We're kind of right in the heart of the Midwest, and we have good location to have distribution throughout the Midwest and beyond. I represent the 4th generation family business. We've been doing this a long time. I come from a long line of farmers and butchers, and today the canning is the biggest part of our business. That's why I'm so excited about National Canned Food Months every year.
That's awesome. And again, National Canned Food Month, like we mentioned in the beginning, it's actually in February, but the good news is, since it's canned food, it's got a nice shelf life, so it hung on for a couple of weeks so we could talk about it here. And again, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. I know, last month I'm sure you had a ton of interviews, but thank you for visiting with me a little bit late. We were trying to find a place to squeeze it in, and again, I thought, since it is Canned Food Month in February and it's got that longer shelf life, this works out just fine, doesn't it?
Perfect, John. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always good to talk to you.
And if there would be a person that maybe would like to get some more information about Keystone Meats, can they find you online, or where are you guys? Are you on Facebook, or how do they find you?
We're in all those formats. keystonemeats.com. That's our website. We've got a lot of great recipes, beginner recipes just for, say, a barbecue beef sandwich, or great soups, beef and noodles, great dip recipes. So you can find that on our website, keystonemeats.com, We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Take your pick.
Very nice. Well, thank you again, sir. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us.
All right. Thanks, John. Have a great day.
You too. Again, Pete Dorley, president of Keystone Meats. And again, February is National Canned Food Month, and we're celebrating it here in March. We appreciate you tuning in to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Many people go to college, but when they graduate, they've racked up a ton of debt. Not everyone, though. Matthew Einstone saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then, after everyone wanted to know how he did it, he built a system to show you how to do it, too. Learn how you can use his system for yourself or for your kids. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Watch a few videos there for free. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. That's freeeducationuniversity.com. Use promo code Radio20 to save 20%.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There is cyanide in apples. Yeah, it's in the apple pit, so you don't want to eat apple seeds or like the little middle part. The
Yeah, I
core
don't
part.
eat that anyway.
Steer clear of that. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When you sneeze, all of your bodily functions stop, even your heart. Your heart quits beating when you
I
sneeze.
knew that.
So don't sneeze too much. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Our eyes never grow. So when you're born, your eyes are the same size as they are now.
Huh.
So if you have a baby with big eyes, that's all right. They'll grow into them. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Your nose continues to grow for the rest of your life.
And your ears.
Yeah, and thanks for stealing my thunder there, lady.
Sorry.
As do your ears. There you go. And another fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The coins we call nickels are mostly copper, not nickel. Nickels are comprised of 75% copper, only 25% nickel. There you go. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There are approximately 50 Bibles sold every minute across the world. So 50
Wow.
every single minute. That's crazy. Thanks for listening. That's in a good way. Very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to radiolottopool.com and join today. Again, that website is radiolottopool.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. You want to surround yourself with the right colors because colors matter, Heidi. Says wearing green attracts money, for example. I didn't know that. Writing things on yellow paper helps you remember it. That's why what color are Post-it notes usually?
Yellow.
So you remember that. You'll get faster restaurant service if you wear red. Psychologist Dr. Edna Deshawn discovered these and other interesting facts in a 15-year career studying the effects that color have on people and people's attitudes and behavior because of color. Here are some other things. They say red energizes both the mind and the body. To work more efficiently, keep a bright red object nearby and look at it regularly. We don't have anything red right around here.
I can see red. My picture of Reagan right
hey, there you go.
The
See?
American flag right
It's
behind
kind of
him.
behind me, so I can't really see that. I'm going to have to... Yeah, look at that red. I feel energized already. Green has a deep subconscious associated with wealth. Look at green lawns or green leaves to help generate money-making ideas. That's what I need. I need more ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. And if you're going on a job interview, they say to wear... Or I'm not a job interview, but going in for a loan, they say wear green. It helps. So, yellow stimulates memory. When trying to recall someone's name or where you put your keys, look at something yellow, and it'll help you retain that information. Blue relaxes us, so if you're trying to relax, just look up at the sky. Pink has an amazing positive effect on your immune system. To stay healthy or to fight the beginning of a cold, surround yourself with pink. Gray is great for helping you get out of yourself. When you have personal problems and are threatening to overwhelm you, look at charcoal gray cloth or some sort of object that your self-centered thoughts will actually just fade away wearing gray. Violet is associated with confidence, Heidi. Would you have thought of that?
No.
Got to be pretty confident to wear violet. Personal power is also associated with violet. Next time you have to take on a difficult task involving other people, look at something violet. White is the color of purity. Looking at a clean white pillowcase, nice fluffy white clouds, or even newly fallen snow will help you fight temptation to resist bad habits. So a couple of fun little things that we learned today about all the different colors. So there you go. Did you learn something?
Not really.
You should have been looking at something red. Then that would have helped. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Hey, it's John and Heidi inviting you to join us for a party in paradise.
This is a week-long event with 80s music from over a dozen awesome bands.
And 80s movie and TV icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
We'll even get together to have some drinks with you.
Book your week-long 80s vacation now at 80sinthesand.com.
That's 80sinthesand.com.
The only thing worse than being an arsonist is probably this. Being an arsonist who likes to brag about being an arsonist.
Oh, man.
Just ask Nicholas Bernstein. He went and started a New York shop on fire. Then he thought it would be really cool to brag to one of his friends about being the one that set the fire. As luck would have it, he dialed the wrong number, and he boasted to his friend, "Dude, it's lit. The whole corner's going." Before he realized it, he found out that, oh, wait a minute. You're not who I'm talking to? I thought I was talking to my buddy. No. He dialed Michael Gudango, who just so happens to be the fire chief, believe it or not. How funny is that?
Holy cow.
Of all the numbers he could have dialed accidentally, he called the fire chief. He's now facing arson charges.
Oh, my gosh.
I think that's really funny. God has such a great sense of humor. He's like, hey, you want to tell
That's
somebody?
amazing.
Dial this number. Here we go. Watch this, everybody. This is going to be a hoot. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Here's oodles and oodles of facts about candy that you might not even know. Like cotton candy is called candy floss in England or fairy floss in Australia.
I knew that, but
You
I
did?
love cotton
I didn't know
candy.
that. 90% of parents swipe goodies from their kids' trick-or-treat bags.
Oh, I bet it's more than 90.
Come on, who you 10% of liars out there? No, I've never taken a... You got chocolate on your face. What are you talking about? When the Mars Company refused to let the producers of E.T. use M&Ms in the movie, Hershey stepped up and said, hey, use our thing called Reese's Pieces, and their sales soared because of it. The name Snickers was changed to Marathon in England because there were jokesters that rhyme Snickers with knickers, which is British for underwear.
Yeah.
So I guess if you want to get a Snickers in England, you'd get a Marathon. I didn't know that. Milton Hershey was among the first Americans to see chocolate-making equipment at the World's Columbian Exposition in 1893. He bought it all and started his own little empire. Hershey's, yeah. Chicago candy makers began a tradition of giving sweets to Halloween trick-or-treaters and making it a little marketing ploy. So that's kind of where that candy at Halloween came from, apparently. The Baby Ruth candy bar was not named for Babe Ruth like a lot of people think, but no, it was for the baby that President Grover Cleveland had. Well, his daughter kind of had the baby, but during their time at the White House, they named that baby daughter Ruth. So the candy bar, Baby Ruth.
John and Heidi.
Many people go to college, but when they graduate, they've racked up a ton of debt. Not everyone, though. Matthew Einstein saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then, after everyone wanted to know how he did it, he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for yourself or for your kids. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. That's freeeducationuniversity.com. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20%.
This, I think, is really important. So if you've got a child, you want to listen to this because the headline says, how to keep your child from becoming a sore loser. This is important stuff to know because you don't want to have that kid.
No.
I mean, do you want to have that kid that's a sore loser? Nobody does. Everybody loves a winner, of course. As the old adage goes, it isn't whether you win or lose, but it's how you play the game. And it's right. That's true. But that's not the message that Americans send all the time. One way to make a dent is to teach your children to lose with dignity. So many times there's so much effort put into winning and so much, give it 110%. It's so important to win that we forget that, you know what? One of these teams is going to lose. Mm-hmm. Your chances of losing are 50-50.
50-50.
So
that's right.
Be a graceful winner is the first thing on the list. If you don't want your child to be a sore loser, teach them to be a graceful winner. Be sure to say, good game. Even if the score is like ridiculously lopsided, the other side probably tried their best. So stress that it is very impolite to gloat, especially during board games at your home. So if you're playing with your kids and when you win, you're like, making laps around the living room and, in your face. And you're like, hey, she's 3. Can you please? Trivial Pursuit's a lot tougher for her. Come on. And then avoid the who won trap. Don't ask about the score. Instead, say, hey, how did you play? So like if
did you have fun?
Yes, but I'm saying like if you didn't make it to a game, when they come in, the first question should not be, hey, did you win? It should be, hey, did you have fun tonight?
Yep.
And then let that come up on its own, because they're saying if all you care about is whether they win or lose, you're saying that's all that matters. Next, share a story. Sympathize with how your child feels when they're disappointed because they lost. Let them know about a time that you lost, maybe something you hadn't told them about before. And the last one is be a good role model. Ironically, some of the worst behavior witnessed during sporting events has come from the parents, not the children. And where do you think the children learn this stuff?
Exactly.
They learn it from somewhere, and most of the time it's from us. So don't have that kid by not being that parent. Coming up, we've got some good news that's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with good news, and I got a good story we're going to get to here. I think this is really neat. First of all, I just want to say this. Coming up tomorrow, we've got our Dear John letter, by the way, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. We got a great Dear John letter for tomorrow. If you want to send one in, we'll tell you how to do that here at the end of the program. But this is such a neat thing. It just kind of reinforces the fact that we have good people in this world.
Okay.
This story does. A 19-year-old young man, a UPS worker in Alabama, was walking several miles to and from work. And he was working, and instead of buying a car with the money, he was doing all this to earn enough money to take care of a sick mother. Have you seen this already online?
I have.
Because I saw you just nod your head over there.
Yeah, I have seen it. It's wonderful.
So until his coworkers got involved, and the coworkers said, guys, let's kind of pitch in and see if we can help him out. And they bought him a Jeep, so he got a vehicle to drive.
That's
How
awesome.
cool is that?
Yeah.
And the neat thing is, it doesn't have to be brand new. They were able to help him out. He got something, and that was just such a wonderful thing for these friends at work, these coworkers. And it says coworkers, but I'm going to say friends, because you don't do that unless you're a friend. And that's just such a cool thing. So think about this. You don't have to do much to help some people. You can do something. Everybody can do something to help people around you. It doesn't have to be buying a vehicle like these guys did. It can be something literally as simple as just, helping somebody pick up something that fell off their desk or whatever. Those little tiny things. Do unto others. If you help other people around you, think about this. How would the world be if everybody treated the people around them the way you treat people around you? Would it be a better place or a worse place? If it would be a worse place, then focus on making your world better. And if everybody does that, what an awesome world we would live in. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
Be very cool. Hey, we've got a Dear John letter for tomorrow. Great one. I'm looking forward to answering this one on the air. And if you've got a Dear John letter for next week, you can get that to us. And you can also read this Facebook or this story we just talked about. It's all on the same Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening on a Wednesday.